And then this lady right here is my wonderful mom, Sarah More. Mom, can you say hi?
Hi to all of you.
Oh, okay, that's great. So as you know, today's my graduation. I'm graduating.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, I know from a young age you placed such great emphasis on education. How come you did that?
The first person who is all-knowing, omniscient, is God himself. He made us in his image, and the image is the brain. We have to be like him. And the next person who inspired me very much is Uncle General Joseph Lago. He will always quote to me that the first African to get a degree is a South African called Dr. Egre, who said, when you educate a man, you educate one individual. But when you educate a woman, you educate the whole nation. And he wanted me so much, all his daughters, to be teachers. And so now, my child, you are getting your master's, and it is your responsibility to pass it on to the rest of the whole of South Sudanese, both men and women, what you have learned.
Yeah, that is very good. That is very good, Mom. You mentioned that Uncle Lagu really placed great emphasis on education. Really told you that you need to strive for, excellence. Yeah.
And also Uncle John, all of them, all Sudanese, they love education. But because we are just right near the Mediterranean and the Red Sea and the access to the River Nile, we had too many invasions who prohibited us from education. We had this education when we were in Egypt. We built the pyramids, we built a beautiful civilization. The people love education.
Now I know that, where did you get your degree in and where did you go to school?
I had, because of wars in Sudan, started my schooling in South Sudan. Then I was brought as a child to Uganda, where I finished my primary school and got to high school. And then I went and got my Bachelor of Science degree in Baraton University in Kenya.
And what was the emphasis in your degree?
The emphasis in general science of agriculture. It is because Sudan was having too much trouble of the wars on both sides. SPLA on one side, the Khartoum government on the other side, and the farmers and the civilians were suffering. People were dying of hunger during the modern times, when places like America, people are suffering from obesity and they have to jog, to keep the weight down, and our own people are dying. So I thought, well, I was first taking major in English, then I decided to go to the agriculture field, so that maybe someday I may be able to help it some.
Now, when we look at South Sudan, there are some communities or tribes that prohibit girls from going to school, or there's a stigma attached to girls who are educated. What would you tell those girls who do want to get an education, but there are a lot of factors within their surrounding that prevents them from doing so, or they feel like they have low self-esteem and they're not intelligent enough?
Sudanese, especially South Sudanese, are victims of invasions of foreigners. There were too much rapes, stealing of children and selling them as slaves. So the parents, the best option for them, because girls are weak, and as Uncle Joseph said, the bodies of girls are delicate, they are precious. So we must not, trade our bodies. And so the parents kept them home. And then these parents are victims. Their daughters became victims. Even most of them do not allow them to go abroad. They do not allow them to go to school because, it is the foreigners who are raping them and selling them as slaves. And then the parents, they became victims of abuse of their own daughters. And the daughters, the most abused victims you know, trying to keep them home for protection, so that when they get
or they
married,
encourage marriage and
marriage, because that is the best option.
Yeah.
Everybody
even
then become a victim.
Here in the West, you know, whereby there's that opportunity to get an education, but emphasis placed on you need to get married. If you're not married by a certain age, then there's something wrong with you.
Oh, everybody is just a victim. It is so sad.
And how come you did not really try to force me into, or you did not really place great emphasis, okay, Eunice, you need to get married, you need to get married. You tend to let me do what I need to do, you know? Like
again, the thing goes back to our culture, the Nubian culture, South Sudan, Darfur, and Jebel Nuba. Is the mothers used to be very strong. The mothers were the ones who were appointing the pharaohs. And most of the pharaohs were women. But you know, a lot of men, they like to show up because they are men. So they write books, they put their records on obelisks, oh, they did this, they did that. But the ones who built the kingdom of Kush were women. And this one, our grandfather, Yakobo Yanga, he believed in, he loved his daughters, even a little more than his own sons. And Uncle Joseph passed it on, he would tell, I love you both boys and girls equally. Yeah,
that is very important. Yeah.
So, because grandfather, Yakobo Yanga was a pastor, he was a missionary to the Morus and to the Dinkas. And he loved his daughters, he tried to pass it on, and his sons and daughters tried to...
So what is the important point in this?
Is that men and women are equal. And Uncle will say, you can do anything that a man does. So I want you to know that, you know, anything that is good, not the wrong one, that a man can do, you can do it.
And this is an important message for the South Sudanese girls.
Yeah. We were brain surgeons, and we were doctors, and we mummified our kings, and did so many things.
In the kingdom
together,
of Kush?
in the kingdom of Kush, by women. But the women are, they don't show off, they don't write, oh, I did this, I'm Ramses, I did this and that, and I fought. No, they were just
very humble
easy.
about it. Yeah, okay. And now how about for the young South Sudanese men and boys who do not have the father figure, or do not have male role models or role models that can encourage them? Or how about those who are in school, but yet sometimes they feel demoralized, you know, they feel alone as they go through their educational process? What would you tell them?
I remember when I was in Nairobi, I was talking to, not Nairobi, we were studying in Kenya, and then I went back home, and then I was telling the people we were very, very lonely. And one young man said, very younger than me, he said, that is good. That is opportunity for you to look to God and to look into your own self and study and pray and strive. Family is good, but sometimes they distract you there, here and there. So whatever opportunity God put you in, you are alone or you're within family, you know that the genes of Nimrod, the first king in the world, is in you. The genes of the pharaohs are in you. They were not slaves. In fact, the Semites, the Romans, the Italians, the Greeks were coming to us for food. You know, they are in your genes. You can strive. And you know, even those who don't have the chance to go to school, we have the genes of business people. You can take $1 and increase it in legal ways. You can build yourself an empire of businesses, good families. Education is to help you now to build the banks and other things.
Yeah, that is,
but nobody must be left behind, whether you're educated or not, as long as you are North or South Sudanese blacks. You can do it.
Yeah, that is very good. That is very good. So what do you think Dad would think about, you know, this day?
Oh, he was such a sweet husband. Unfortunately, I'm so addicted to him. You know, he seemed to be alive. I'm not been able to get here further. He loved education. He fought for the right of South Sudanese to learn in their languages and in English and in Arabic too, but in English will broaden your horizon, you know. When you come to US, President Obama do not know Arabic, but if you know English and you want to explain your point of view on politics or security or so forth, you know, it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he thought education was very important.
Very good. And sometimes when he's going home, he will go to the Ministry of Education
Yeah.
to ask for books, textbook, exercise books.
So he would be reading and...
No, for the schools.
Oh, for the schools?
Yeah.
He would give the schools
Yeah,
in
he
South
will,
Sudan?
yeah, of his constituency, Lirumbek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
when he's going home, he'll tell me. And then there were some people we knew, also in the Ministry of Education, who were his in-laws, the Madis, and then he would also negotiate with them and with all the Equatorians and the Dinkas, you know, to help his constituents.
Yeah, that is
And
very
then
good.
he will come with his, he had a truck, and then he will fill it. They will fill them with the textbooks, the exercise pencils, things like that, pens. Then we'll take them home. He did that several times.
Okay. Yeah, that is great. That is great. Is there any last message you'd like to say to the youth of South Sudan?
I am so happy freedom found you when you are still young. This is your opportunity to tell the Arabs you are also human beings. To tell the whites, to tell all the races and nations in the world, you are still the pharaohs. Rise up and do things. First for yourselves, your families, and for the whole of South Sudan. And remember the Bible said what? That will rebuild a church, will bring him gifts. And God said also, Egypt are us, South Sudanese, Darfur and Jebel Nuba, that he loves us. And when you're bringing gifts, it's going to be lots for God. You are going to be very rich, but you need to work for it. You will have peace in South Sudan because God is coming back to you, but you need to work for peace. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you too, Mom. And I really want to thank you for making me a strong, independent person. I would not have been where I am today
God, I just thank
had
God.
it not been for you. So thank you very much,
I
Mom.
just thank God and your daddy for giving you to me. And you're so beautiful and cute, just like him.
Mom. Okay, thank you.
Our queen.
Thank you.